The new administration appears faced with not just combating insurgency alone. The country appears like it is in a state of dilemma, as some of the state governments have not paid salaries to their civil servants, even as the federal government has backlog of debts owed. The duplication of roles, offices, special assistants, parastatals continue to increase the cost of governance. Expectations are high that the President Buhari's led administration will proffer and implement measures that will drastically cut down the cost of running the economy. A legal practitioner, Eze Onyenkwere, says scrapping irrelevant and inactive ministries might just be the right thing to do.
Cutting down on the cost of governance and also removing wastages and frivolities and inappropriate expenditure in the system. If you ask me, I would say that maybe we have too many ministries and many MDAs as well. So in terms of the ministers that should run the administration, maybe between 15 and 18 should be sufficient. Some of the ministries may need to be merged. For instance, we may have a bigger picture of the Ministry of Transport, under which you have aviation, under which you have the ministry controlling the inland waterways and other similar agencies. So it is important because it will lead to saving costs, because if you have an idea of how much a minister takes home and all the paraphernalia of aides upon aides that is allowed to hire in the system, you will understand that we may need to cut down on the number of ministers. Beyond the ministers, I think we should also look critically at the implementation of the Ransom Committee report. We talked about merger of some agencies and scrapping some of them that are no longer relevant.
Barrister Eze further says resources gathered from pruning down on some of these agencies will help diversify the economy.
If you are cutting down the cost of governance and you are rechanneling the money to more productive ventures, you are improving education, you are improving maternal, newborn and child health, you are improving healthcare generally, you are building more roads, more bridges, more megawatts of electricity.
A cross-section of Abuja residents say slashing down a number of ministers and ministries by the President Buhari's led administration will be a step in the right direction.
The state is our country is in a state of emergency right now, and the president has so much expectation on him and is expected to deliver. Yes, cutting down the ministries and cutting down some parastatal, merging some together is a step that is necessary at this point in time. You know, most of the ministers, minister for this and you still have minister for state, which we just discovered that most of these offices are just to allot offices to people, to all these politicians. So, him reducing the number of offices and merging some ministries together is a necessity, is something that we should consider. It is important. It will reduce the number of cost of running the government.
The money that is going into for their expenses is so enormous. It's so much that the economy cannot really carry on again. So I think reducing them, it will help the nation by helping the economy in the situation we are into right now.
As federal government canvasses measures to cut down cost of governance, it is also important for it to put together adequate compensation for the ordinary man who may be displaced from their only source of livelihood, so they do not become a burden to the society. Kesiena Ikeke for DTN World News.